everyone. Hi. Good to see everyone. Having my tea. Everybody make it here okay? Happy Thursdays. Happy Hot Topics. Dun, 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 dun. Hot Topics. Who used to do that? Who used to have that song, Hot Topics? Is that in my mind? Am I making that up? I don't know. Anyway, good to see everybody here. It's been a very bizarre week. You know, Thursday is a fun time to get together and do hot topics because, the world goes a little crazy. And then we kind of have to review the week, don't we? Some people review it on Friday, but I think Thursdays work just fine. They do say there's usually a news dump on Thursdays, though, don't they? All right, here is my combination of xylitol and coconut sugar. Reduces the calories in the coconut sugar while sweetening it. So 2 teaspoons would be about 15 kcal. Here you go. Hi, Spirit Beyond the Stars. So Abramovich is blind. So let's talk first off. I'm going to go ahead and pin that. Abramovich, very famous I believe he owns several news stations, including the news station that produced Zelensky's comedy show. Zelensky works for him, and they're friends. So that's kind of interesting situation with Abramovich, which the oligarch, who's Israeli, he's Russian and Israeli, and put a lot of money into Zelensky's presidency campaign, his campaign to get elected. So that's a whole conversation, but it's interesting that I didn't know about him. They tried to poison him last month, so the fact that he's now blind is interesting. I hope he's going to be okay. Spirit Beyond the Stars, good to see you. Thanks for telling us about that. Hi, Tina Perucci, good to see you. Dana Terry, hi, thank you for being a member. Pamela, I don't know why I'm coughing. Once I get started, it'll stop. Oh my gosh. Pamela Doss is in the house. Thank you for being a member. Oh, where's my tissue for my nose? All right, let me get my tissue. I apologize. All right, let's keep going. Dot. Hello, Dot. Hi, Wildflower Wind. I haven't post-nasal drip, so I'm just going to try and deal with it. Hi, Dot. Good to see you. Wildflower Wind is in the house. Good to see you as well. Jennifer Cooper, hi. Kay Williams, Cindy, good to see you. Lily, hi. Good to see you as well. I haven't been keeping track of the latest with Hunter Biden, but I'm sure there's a lot going on there. We can certainly take a look and see if Hunter Biden is in trouble. Hi, Geocosmic Valentine. Good to see you here. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Cardomancy Mesquite. Thank you, folks, for helping out today. Melinda Ducher in the house. So sweet. Interesting. Okay, so Tini Perucci is saying that a Connecticut judge has slapped Alec Jones with a contempt charge for failing to show for 2 depositions. Interesting. Involving the families of Sandy Hook. What will the outcome of the lawsuit be? That's a really, really good question. So in the news, It's coming out that Putin's people are afraid to tell him the truth. They say they'd rather kill him or oust him than tell him the truth. Isn't that interesting? They say he will either try something desperate, Putin will, or he will flee. So that's going to be interesting. Good question, Freda. We can ask that. Is it afraid that they? Is it true that they're afraid to tell him? Evidently, yes, because people have gone missing, and there are oligarchs. There are, excuse me, members of the security who are being blamed for this fiasco that have gone missing. Right? They're under house arrest. So, would you want to give them the bad news? Of course not. Right? So, doesn't surprise me that they're afraid to tell him. Okay, so whenever I get the order, I'm going to go ahead. We'll do the impasse prayer. We'll do some blitzes today. Today's subject, hot topics, whatever hot topics you want to talk about. If you want to talk about Kanye West, he's always fun. We can talk about that. If you don't want to talk about Will Smith, I don't think Will Smith was defending his wife, alopecia. I have my own theory. I think that because I did a remote view on Will Smith, and I didn't know the whole thing about the affair. I don't track these people. I didn't know his wife had alopecia because I don't care. I don't know these people. I don't watch the Red Table. I'm sorry if that makes other people offended in some way, and Chris Rock said he didn't have a clue. I mean, they were friends in the sense that they would go to events and be friendly with each other. But I believe Chris Rock, who's sitting around watching the Red Table. Most people don't care about these people's lives, I'm sorry to say. So when I put myself in the shoes of Will Smith, I feel humiliated and embarrassed that his wife is going around talking about how I couldn't make her happy as a man, so she decided to have an affair so she could feel good. And then I tell myself this lie, oh, it's not my job to make my wife happy. Oh, okay, Will Smith thinks it's not his job to make his wife happy. I get it. So it's this other man's job to make your wife happy. Oh, he made her very happy. And she went in front of the camera and told everybody, I just wasn't happy with you. So I wanted to feel good. So I found a man that makes me feel good. You don't have a problem with that. You're right. Will, you can't make your wife happy. So she went to get another man who make her very happy. So I think that this is why I left LA, because everybody is full of crap, right? There's all this crap about, oh, and I'm completely okay with the fact that she's having an affair because I just want my wife to be happy. No, you're not. You're not okay with the fact that, why don't you just be real? It's driving you crazy. You had a couple of affairs. Your wife got pissed off, and so she decided to get back at you. Honest resentment, it goes a long way. And I think that he was sitting there in the audience when I put myself in his shoes, and everybody's pointing at him and saying, his wife, she's off doing whatever she likes, and he's completely cool with it. Man, Will, you really are weak. You are one weak man, got a beautiful wife. So that is how I felt as him. So I'm sitting there. I know what the tension I felt. And then when he starts talking about how he as if he feels, well, hey, Will's okay with me hitting on his wife in front of, aren't you, Will? You're okay with me saying I love you to your wife, talking about how nice she looks. And who says, what is that, G.I. Jane? She was hot. She had she was rocking a fantastic body. You know how many soldiers, because I remember when that film came out, had posters of G.I. Jane. Hello, good to see you. How many men had posters of they thought it was sexy. So how I interpret it was that he was jealous, and then he sat there while he was flirting with her wife and his wife, and then when he said, "I love you," that's when, because prior to that, I think he felt humiliated and embarrassed because he probably thought everybody was talking about it. That's my theory. That's my wife. That's my wife, right? You're not going to have you all laughing at me. I'm a man, right? That's the anger I saw. But we can agree to disagree. Anybody agree with me or not disagree? Are we? It's hot topics. We can talk about it. And then we have the other thing with Bruce Willis. Yes. You want to know when I first got a crush on Bruce Willis? Was when Bruce Willis was in The Sixth Sense and he was being like the good papa, the good therapist with that kid. I thought he was very attractive in that, you know. But yeah, so Bruce Willis, we wish him all the best. Unfortunately, he does suffer from aphasia, difficulty of speech, right? So it's degeneration in an area of the brain. Usually, I believe it's on the left side, the Broca vertical section, which is the prefrontal and the temporal lobe area. This is where we take in speech if someone's talking to us, and we process what you mean. And then Broca, we form words in order to communicate. So the area that Bruce Willis is suffering from that has damage, that's the area. So what can cause it? Yes, Alzheimer's can be it can be linked to Alzheimer's, aphasia. In fact, aphasia is one of the symptoms of Alzheimer's. Chemotherapy and certain drugs that patients will be given, what we call iatrogenic, where the actual medication the person's given has caused the brain damage. That can also lead to it. Tumors, lesions in the brain are associated with aphasia. There may be a genetic component. Some people who are at risk for certain kinds of conditions. Pharmaceuticals, though, is definitely something we've been looking at, like iatrogenics, chemotherapies, anything, chemicals, drugs, anything else, head injuries. People who have had head injuries, for example, people who have played sports are at greater risk. Cocaine addiction is definitely research that chronic cocaine addiction, because it's taken up through the nose, can damage the can damage the substantia nigra, which is a portion of the brain that produces and releases dopamine, and dopamine is stimulated. It's through the medication cocaine. So some people feel that it can be damaged to the substantia nigra. That is what cocaine is associated with. Was not aware of it associated with aphasia, which is a different part of the brain. So blood sugar dysregulation, diabetes, prediabetes can put you at risk for Alzheimer's. Did I get a blitz away yet? I'm just going to hang until I get the order, and then we can start doing whatever you guys. A blood clot. Yeah, if you have oxygen deprivation to the brain, good point, Connie. If your person's had a stroke, that can cause damage to the brain. Viruses and bacteria, rarely. If a person's going to survive a viral encephalitis or meningitis or something like that, it's possible that somebody could have some severe brain damage due to something like an infection. But it's rare that somebody would even survive something like that. So yeah, I would think stroke, absolutely. We do see aphasia and stroke, very common in stroke. And sometimes a person will not even know that they have a stroke, and they'll wake up in the morning and they'll be slurring their words or having speech challenges, and then they'll find out that they've had a series of strokes. Yeah, unfortunate. Okay, so Glenn has given the order. Glenn would like us to blitz, blitz, blitz away. And of course, we're going to do the impasse prayer. Desiree has reminded us. You know, it's interesting. Kate was talking about migraines. Yeah, slurring of words, drooling during migraine. Drugs, yes. Yeah, also benzodiazepines can cause some strange reactions that are temporary. Oh, Kay Williams also gave us a blitz, blitz, blitz away. Okay, so let's do it. Let's get this party started. So first question is coming from Darlene. Hi, Darlene. Darlene would like to know what the future of Boris Johnson is. So let's go ahead. We're going to do the impasse prayer, and then let's just start doing some blitzes. Sound good? All right. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen. Let's go in. All right, the future of Boris Johnson. Not too much of a long history. I mean, Chris Rock, Geocosmic Valentine, asking about their relationship. He cracked a couple of jokes in 2016, but for the most part, Chris Rock is not known to be the more vicious of the comedians. He's a mild roaster. Like he did a very tease with Jada and said, "I love you. You're very sweet." You know, like he's being very sweet with her. It was really more about acting familiar with his wife. We're having a little flirtation here. I think that was more what bothered Will Smith, but that's just my own personal. Okay, Boris Johnson. What's going on with Boris Johnson? I just heard ineffectual, inept, ineffectual. So they've always felt like he's been ineffectual. Nobody really knows what he's doing. Nobody really knows what Boris Johnson wants to do. His time as prime minister looks very confusing. You can see here the moon. He's confused. He's trying to construct something, but nobody knows what. It goes back to being post-Brexit. What he's constructing, Seven of Wands, standing on a high ground, trying to defend his position. I wonder if he even knows what his position is. Where he's at right now, walking away. I think Boris Johnson could step down. There's a woman here potentially taking Boris Johnson's position, crossing in the second house, the first house to leave what you have established. And then we can see this Queen of Pentacles coming in, which would lead me to think that he's being a woman's coming in possibly to take his position. There's sobriety here. You know, he may have been asked to leave or asked to take the advice and work with somebody within the Tory community, and he's refused to do that. There's also been, based on now I'm in the Akashic Records, so I'll just tell you what I'm seeing in the Akashic Records, and if you're from Britain, you can tell me what this is about. So evidently, Boris Johnson was approached and asked if he could work with a branch or a group of people from the Tories in order to work on certain things like budget, etc., and he refused. So he was offered assistance from this particular group from within the Tories, and he's declined the offer. And so the frustration from within the Tory camp, from what the records are telling me, is that he's trying to do everything on his own. And there's a little bit of a feeling that he's a control freak rather than allowing this, it almost looks like a community of people to come in and to assist him. Because see what he's sitting in the cards with is a 4 of cups. He doesn't want to take the offer. So this is like 10 experts come in from the Tories and say, let's help you. We want to work with you in order to streamline certain things. No. I don't want your help. I'm going to do it all on my own. That's what it looks like to me as somebody who doesn't know a lot about it. There's frustration here about how money should be used. There's a lot of arguing about the budget. There's also a very, very strong man in Parliament who has a previous history, possibly in the military, who's well respected by the Tories, who appears to be a moderate, who is also looking very attractive as the future prime minister. I don't know who he is. King of Pentacles, he's a money man, very rational, very grounded, may have also served some time in the military. Look at this 2 of Swords. He doesn't want to listen. This is a guy, this individual, Boris Johnson, he doesn't want help. He doesn't want to hear other people's opinion. He's rejecting the offers of assistance. Does he have a drinking problem or something like that? Why would he get temperance in his 4th house? That's a sobriety card. This is somebody whose behavior is not as stable as it should be. That King of Pentacles, another man coming in, possibly to want to look at the budget, is very interesting to me. He's got the Chariot as his hope and fears. You know what? This guy's not good with money. Something is going on with Boris Johnson that is not good for it's not financially good for Britain, because you can see here his hope and his fear, the coin juggler. April, there's a new, he's very bad. He's very, very bad financially for Britain, and he won't take help. This intolerance or a failure of him to work with certain people has made it very difficult for him to lead. And it's also prevented a lot of stuff from getting done that should have gotten done. And it will probably end. He's going to have to leave because the experts and the masters are coming in. And there's a humility here in Parliament where they need help, and they just need the experts to come and clean this up. And it can't just be Boris Johnson on his own refusing to listen. That looks to be the problem. I'd be very curious what's going on in Britain, but that's what it looks like. And eventually they're going to have to reach across the aisle and start bringing in masters and experts, because they have a lot of stuff to work out. That's basically what it looks like with Boris Johnson. Interesting. Bit of an interesting character, I guess. All right. So there's something weird here with Madison Cawthorn. I don't know if anybody else knows anything about this. Evidently, he's a Republican rep. Is that correct? And he's claiming that there were orgies and cocaine parties. And is he going to name names? Is he making up stories? What's the story here? We can get into the records if you'd like me to, and I can go ahead and tell you what's going on with that. I'd be curious. If we get devil cards, there's certain cards we're going to be looking for to find out if this is true. Oh, the wicked places we go. Oh, thank you, Jody. Thank you for that donation. Appreciate it. That tea helped my throat. Stop coughing. Yay. Okay, so let's go ahead now and let's take a look at Madison Cawthorn and his claims that he's made, and if there's going to be consequences for what he's said. All right, let's take a look. Madison Cawthorn. What is going on with this rep? Did he see something, hear something he wasn't supposed to? Okay, so the first thing is that Matt Gaetz has a money pool. Okay, so I went into the remote. Matt Gaetz has a money pool. If you want to play, you got to have a certain amount of money to play in the money pool with Matt Gaetz. I don't know what this money pool is, but I got the feed on it. So you don't have, you're a junior rep. You don't have enough money to be in this money pool. You gotta at least have this amount of money if you want to join our party. And so this almost looks like the kind of money pool you'd have if you had fantasy football or something like that. So Matt Gaetz was always looking for ways to have fun, and you gotta everybody put up 500 bucks. I'll get the beer and the girls. It's that kind of an energy with Matt Gaetz. He's always looking to have fun. Maybe he's hoping to make friends with his buddies in Congress by doing this, but this is part of the dynamic I feel when I go into this. There's a formal ethics investigation going on. So somebody must have reported this crazy behavior. For example, if they were gambling, if they were paying for prostitutes, if everybody was putting up $500 or $1,000, and then they were going to some expensive place with women and gambling. These are the ethics issues that are under investigation. So the Queen of Pentacles moves into first position, and she is the investigator who looks at the hidden coin. But when I go into the feed as a remote viewer, it's money up front, boys. So something is going on, a party, and that's the feed that's associated with this investigation. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles moving into the first position, who is overseeing some hidden money or some transaction that happens with money, and the heavy load is coming. And then the secrets. 10 of Pentacles is the card of karma. It's inheritance. So it's what was inherited. It's the family. The dark side of the 10 of Pentacles is inheritance. What did you inherit? Your dark secrets, child abuse, for example, would fall under an inverted 10 of Pentacles. Inappropriate sexual behavior in the family, that sort of thing, would be the dark side of the 10 of Pentacles. So the 10 of Pentacles comes as the karma issue here. So issues of inheritance or our little family. So it's like a clique or a little family, there's an issue. And then the crossing card is an attempt to pull himself potentially away from a situation that's currently under an investigation. So Madison Cawthorn is trying to get away from the situation. So he's been advised probably to say everything he knows and then to physically remove himself from it. I mean, the days of being a good old boys club are kind of over with Congress. They're almost at 50% female now, right? We're at 40%, almost 40%. So this kind of stuff might have flown in the early 60s, right? Nobody would have said anything. They would have had a gentleman's get together, and that would have been that. But now it's he's frightened that there were illegal activities going on, and that some people could face prosecution and even criminal charges. He's singing like a canary. The Ace of Cups sits in his third house. Third house is what you marinate in. What's he marinate in? Ace of Cups, offerings. Singing like a canary in order to avoid prosecution. Something must be going on. I think it's the tip of the iceberg. It's even worse than what he's saying. If he's worried about legal prosecution, there it is. The jailer. Look at that. Jailer overseeing the jail. And here's incarceration. And here he is attempting to get away, to flee. This is the captives card, 6 of Swords. A captive rescued. Well, he's coming into the Empress. He's got more, he's got proof, and he's got more evidence that he's, Empress is evidence, right? Empress is the treasure trove that ever overflows, right? That's what we say about the treasure trove of the Empress. So Ace of Cups is what he sits in. That's an offer. So he's going to talk like a canary. There was money exchange. Look at this money. They're like children. They're like children. Look at Gates, grieving. The party's over. The spilt wine at the party. Gates is in trouble. Yeah, this is an actual legal case with prosecution. Look at this. The courts. The final outcome for Cawthorn, King of Swords. The King of Swords is coming in. That's like military. Oh, he's attempting to flee. I would say Matt Gaetz is not cooperating with this investigation. 4 of Cups is to reject in the 8th house, which I'm assuming is Matt Gaetz. The hope and fear over the law. 3 of Swords, heartbreak, that justice will not be served. Final outcome. They're going to name people that were associated. The world comes out. The world. Yeah, I would say he's telling the truth. And God, what a weird thing to do. Isn't that weird? To go into sometimes when you're a remote viewer, you enter into, I was like, who would do that? That's such a, is that what guys do in college in their 20s? Everybody Venmo me $200. I'll get the beer, I'll get the girls, I'll get the house in the Hamptons. Yep. You don't get to hang with us. You're a junior rep. You don't make enough money to hang out with this money pool. We're getting a place in the Hamptons. It's that kind of energy. And if you're cool, you should be able to get the money together and then hang out with the big kids. And then we get to do naughty things and we get to get away with them. That's what it looked like. That's exactly what it looked like. And they were pooling money to do it. Pooling money for their drugs, pooling money for their prostitutes, pooling money for their house in the Hamptons or wherever they were going. And the fact that the Queen of Pentacles comes in the 1st house, which is the woman of hidden coin, leads me to think that they're just going to follow the money. Yeesh. The things you find out. This is why I love my job. I love my job. I love my job because my entire life, I've just been notoriously curious. I'm born the year of the rabbit, which is also the year of the cat. Curious, curious, curious. Cannot stop asking questions. And that's what, when I found out, oh, there's a way to find out. Use the cards, do a little remote viewing. It's addictive. All right, Cindy wants to know, can you make a prediction about the Pennsylvania gubernatorial Democrat, Josh Shapiro? The rest of the GOP are being supported by Trump and Kellyanne Conway. Oh, dear. Cheers. So Connie, what do you think about Jada and Will? See, I think they're going to get it. I think this might be the last straw. I think they will get a divorce. I think it's finally happening. I think Will and Jada are going to get a divorce after this. Because it really wasn't about the alopecia. It was about the fact that she was sleeping with somebody else and talking about it and embarrassing him publicly. That's what I think. We shall see. All right. So next question. The Pennsylvania gubernatorial candidate Josh Shapiro. Let's take a look. Josh Shapiro. I'll just do 4 cards. He has a really good team, Josh Shapiro. You know, it's possible Josh Shapiro could win. He's got the Hermit card, scholarship, knowledge, magician, power, King of Pentacles, money man, and then 5 of Wands would be a team of rivals, exchange of ideas, interactions, like conflict. But that's not necessarily bad. That could be a team of rivals. Look at the mastery here. Look at this mastery. 8 of Pentacles, the master at his work, and then scholarship. This is a very intelligent campaign. And then the magician comes there with the King of Rods. That must be Josh Shapiro. Look at that power. Josh Shapiro, nice Jewish boy. King Yehuda, King of the Rods. His cards look very good for Pennsylvania. In terms of his money guy, yeah, steady stream of money. Look at that. He's not an extremist. He's not an extremist. He works with a lot of different people. Have you guys been seeing the orb? Did you see the orb that came by earlier? Getting a lot of orbs today. It's possible, yes, because Josh Shapiro is running an incredible campaign. That's what it looked like. It was an excellent campaign. Good question. Okay, solar storms. Do they even have an impact on anything? I don't know anything about the science of solar storms or if there's anything to worry about with solar storms. I think that they're cool to look at, but I don't know if they necessarily have any impact on anything. But let's look at solar storms. Well, it almost looks like the scientific community is thrilled by solar storms because they say they learn a lot from them about the surface of the sun and 5 of Pentacles, which is a poverty card. So it might be that there's something about research, investigation, or inadequate funding, also with the Justice card. So one of the things that sometimes comes up with these cards is that certain programs are not being funded, like research into NASA, that sort of thing. It might be why you see poverty around NASA. But then what's interesting is you get the Magician card and then Judgment, which leads me to think that Biden's new campaign or his new budget was better for NASA than previous. Because there's something here about not having adequate money to research, and then how eventually they're able to receive enough funding in order to do research. You can see here an offer to assist from the scientific community, good judgment, and then world contribution and then magician. So there's nothing here about health regarding solar flares. This is talking about research inadequate. I got into documents on NASA and funding and the fact that they didn't feel that they were adequately funded. And then there's something here about cooperation with other foreign researchers. I just got research on NASA. I didn't get anything spooky. So I would assume the scientific community is interested in this phenomenon because they're learning things. That's all I was able to get. If you guys know more about it, you can let me know. You believe PDD 86 believe that that Will Smith was protecting his mother. Some people feel that way. You know, I could be completely wrong, but he says he's a protector of the family, so maybe. I don't know. Joanna, so Will Smith's wife had an affair with a man half her age. Yeah, no wonder she felt good. Right. But he said, oh, he went off and he had a bunch of affairs. Oh, really? Because you needed it. So I just see two people that are not being honest, and I don't know. I don't know. Neither here nor there. I don't usually watch celebrities also, but everybody, you know, this is Hot Topics Thursday, so anything's game. This is not Sundays where it's all politics. We gotta mix it up a little bit. I love Chris Rock. I don't think he was all that cruel. I mean, if you're really talking about somebody who's lost all their hair and being able to laugh at a joke, why not talk about Gilda Radner? You know, she was cancer schmancer. Now, she really had a reason to be depressed about losing her hair. And she was the first person to crack jokes about having cancer and looking like a baby duck. And she wanted people to laugh at her because she felt that it was something healing and positive to laugh with her and talk about cancer and talk about fears of death and stuff. So I love Gene Wilder. Now he's passed on, but I used to have a huge crush on him. But when she was going through her whole cancer battle, Gilda Radner, I just can't imagine Gene Wilder smacking someone for teasing her. When she, you know, it was her whole comedy routine prior to her death was all about laughing at her nightmare. It's always something, right? So I don't know. If you're going to be a performer, you kind of have to be able to laugh at yourself. But somebody with mild alopecia, I mean, she had very good definition. I also want to say Jada Pinkett. I looked at the definition because I'm a doctor and I've treated alopecia, and we look for patches, and she had beautiful definition. So I didn't really see massive alopecia. Now, the congresswoman, you can see there's no hair on the top. There's no stubble or anything. Whereas with Jada Pinkett, it's beautiful and dark all along the sides, and she has really nice definition. So most doctors would say either she has no alopecia or she has mild thinning, which is common in women over 40, or she just has a very mild case of alopecia. So this is why I'm just not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you really got alopecia? Let me take a look. Because I treat alopecia. We do it naturally. Naturopathic doctors, we use essential oils and massage. Particularly if it's an autoimmune condition, we place you on a particular type of diet, and we do massages like tea tree, lavender. Got awfully good definition there for, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. I used to work at a pharmacy. I lived in Hollywood I was a doctor in Hollywood. This is why I feel the way I do. I was a Hollywood doctor from 2008 until 2020. I've seen it all. I worked pharmacy for 8 years. Drug herb interactions. That was my job. I caught the interactions. I could pay my student loans off, no problem, if I wrote a book about what I witnessed in that pharmacy. It was in Brentwood, California. I met a lot of celebrities. I saw a lot of meltdowns when we wouldn't fulfill their prescriptions. People would come in, they'd have prescriptions for opioids from 6 separate doctors, and we would catch it. And these are famous people, and they'd be screaming in the middle of the pharmacy that they needed their drugs. We were cleaning up needles in the bathroom. So just saying, it's a crazy town, crazy town. All right, and I'm glad to be back in Portland. All right, hieroglyphic tributes. I am concerned about Ukrainian. Oh, I like that, hieroglyphic tributes. I am concerned about Ukrainian refugees being taken to Russia. Yes, yes, I agree. Well, probably hostages to negotiate during a hostage swap, I would think. Let's see how let's see how they're doing. That's why a lot of celebrities don't go to jail anymore for drug use, because they are prescribed, because they just go to their doctors. We had one famous actress screaming because one of our pharmacy techs caught it and said, I'm not going to give you your drugs. This is another doctor. You're doubling up on your drugs. And she started screaming and yelling, this actress, and everybody was staring at her because she needed to get her drugs. This was a famous woman. Then the tech woman got so mad at her, the tech woman came out from behind the pharmacy and started to chase her. And then the famous actress ran to get away from her, and her husband, who was also a famous actor, was in they were in the SUV together, and they had to lock the doors because the pharmacy tech lady was so mad at them, and then they had to drive away. And a couple weeks later, the famous husband of the wife, who's the famous actress, spent an evening helping me stack shelves in the pharmacy. Famous actor. These are Academy Award-winning actors, and he's helping me stack stuff in a pharmacy because he doesn't want to go back to his wife who's having a drug meltdown. So he's hanging out with me, helping me put stock on the shelf. I've seen it all. Seen it all, people. Survived it all, seen it all. Hollywood is crazy. I will take the names to my grave. I will never say who those people were, but I saw a lot. Let's just put it that way. All right. My sister had a crush on that actor so much. And so when she found out that he was hanging out with me at my job, helping me clean up and put things away, she was like, does he really look like that in real life? I'm like, yeah. But I'm not really attracted to actors. All right. So regarding the issue of the hostages, these are Ukrainians that were taken to Russia. They don't know what to do with them. There's confusion. There is some law protecting them because they're not, excuse me, sorry. They're not criminals. You've got the high courts over them. So these are not people that have been accused of doing anything wrong. And you'd hope that they would have the Geneva Pact, that they would, follow certain laws regarding how they have to teach them. There is a little protection there with the high priestess, but these are not criminals that should be going to Siberia or anything like that. Sorry. Nobody's talking about it. New structures. Knight of Rods. They're being kept probably at temporary shelters or housing for Wands. There's a money exchange issue going on here. There's an Ace of Swords, which would be victory after tears, while they grieve, hopes and fears, the judgment. They want to determine if anybody. So they took the hostages and then they separate the soldiers versus the civilians. Yeah, there'll be an offer. Prisoner release, Ace of Cups. That's what I see. Clarification, heartbreak. Yeah, captives. The final outcome over. Yeah. It, believe it or not, it had to do with the courts. They weren't criminals. They were just hostages, civilians. There was nothing they could hold them on. Here's the Hierophant coming in over the offer. They'll be released. Scary though, isn't it? Okay. Let me get some more tea from this post-nasal drip. I'm going to start taking Allegra again, I guess. Okay, so this next question has to do with Hunter Biden. Let's take a look. What is going on with Hunter Biden? Is he in any kind of legal trouble? Sounds like he had a lot of problems, Hunter Biden. Like he lost his mom and his sister and his. That kid had a lot of problems. This is fun. Hunter Biden. What's going to happen with Hunter Biden? There's no jail here or anything like that. There's nothing here that warrants, people may not like who he does business with or things of this nature, but there's no criminal action here. You can see here the Queen of Swords, which can be the sword of truth. His health is a big concern for him. He wants to take care of his health. The sword of truth, Archangel Michael, and then the star. He's not going to jail. Oh, you know, in a way, he really felt this is going to be put to rest. There's no legal action against him. He's not going to jail. It will be put to rest. In a way, though, what he is saying, what Hunter Biden is saying in this remote is that, in a way, he is kind of grateful he went through all those challenges in life because they helped make him, you know, it sounds hokey, but they helped make him the person that he is now, because he's talking here about emerging very strong with a very strong sense of ethics, and that he has struggled with certain things. Like he emerges as the King of Rods, and the King of Rods is like Hunter Biden's book. The thing we always learn from Judas is that he always has to confess, right? When Joseph in the Bible is sold for 30 pieces of silver by Judah, the king, the person who becomes the head of the tribe, Judah. When he's younger, he sells his brother because everyone's jealous of Joseph. And then when Benjamin gets arrested, his youngest brother, he has to go before the head person. He doesn't know that it's Joseph, and beg for his brother to be released. I made a mistake. I screwed up. I did a terrible thing to my brother. I sold my brother Joseph into slavery. And if my father loses another child, it's going to kill him. This is the speech of Judah. So Judah is always the guy who has to have my culpa. He always has to say, he's the person that comes out and says what he's done and then corrects the damage. A few years later in the story, he then winds up having an affair with his son's widow. His son's deceased, right? And they have a child together. So then again, same situation with Judah. He has to go before the tribe and say, I had an affair. It was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. This is what happened. So that's the powerful archetype. That's the archetype of someone who has made mistakes in the past and then owns it and takes responsibility. There are other aspects to the King of Rods. For example, it's an entrepreneur's card, somebody who goes out and, shapes on their own destiny, kind of like an Elon Musk kind of a character. They're going to forge ahead, the pioneer. But it's Yehuda, right? So Yehuda, he emerges after the truth. So something here about somebody developing into something greater, but it will be put to rest. I don't see criminal charges placed against him. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, you saw the fairy geocosmic? Yeah, it was dancing around here earlier. So I don't know why it shows up. It definitely shows up. I can see it. It's not light. It's from a light source, and it's contained light. And I don't know why it chooses to come and then leave. It spends a lot of time in this corner right here, whatever it is, which is interesting because this is where I have some Buddhist writings down here, which is kind of strange. My magazines, my Jewish journals and things or my Buddhist journals that I read. So it's kind of interesting that that's the energetic space that it hangs out in, whatever it is. But yeah, if you go back and look at the tape, you can see we had a fairy again today. Okay, this question is coming from, how are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing good. So this is a question from Joanna Carson. Will the person who is responsible for Helena Hutchinson's death on the Rust set ever be caught? Let's take a look. It'll be settled out of court for a financial fee. I mean, it's a finance, and no one's going to jail, but there's a fine. It's going to cost a pretty penny financially, and that it'll most likely be settled out of court. You can see here the money issue holding on to the coin, and then you can see it's hung up. The case is hung up, and then you have the masters coming in with the coin and then walking away from the battle. So I think I'm going to interpret it that they will settle out of court, that it will be hung up. The masters will come in and hammer out a legal solution that has a financial compensation associated with it, and the case will be dropped. Walk away. 5 of Swords, which is to walk away from a battle that cannot be won. The gun wasn't adequately checked before it wound up in the prop section. It just wasn't properly checked. Properly checked. But I don't see any like murder or anything like that. I think it will. There's something here about more strict laws coming in to make sure this doesn't happen again. But I don't see prosecution. Interesting. Interesting question. What do y'all think about that? Meghan is not a narcissist, Sheila Edwards. I stick up for Duchess Meghan because, yeah, I'm very glad she got her husband, who was a drug addict and an alcoholic, out of that situation and saved his life. And I think the reason that they depicted her as horrible is because she's American and biracial. I think it was pure racism. That's just my opinion. Yeah, G.I. Jane, calling someone G.I. Jane too. And that was a hot character. I mean, it was a bit of a gender bender, but I have friends that were in the military, and I would go and visit them, and they would have pictures of G.I. Jane with she rolled her thing up. You have that picture of her where you could see her abs. She had tied her shirt like this, G.I. Jane. And that became a famous poster of her. A lot of guys thought it was hot. So being told you look like, if you have a short haircut, that you look like G.I. Jane, it's not like he said you look like crap. I mean, if you're going to be rocking a haircut, there are worse things to look like than, G.I. Jane with her, incredible body. And yeah, G.I. Jane was very ripped, very hot. Yeah, he didn't call her Kojak. He didn't call her an ugly, fat little kid with, how kids go through that awkward period right before when they don't have any hair. The fat baby with no hair. It's like an unattractive period that a lot of babies have to go through. Like right before they're 2, the big fat baby, no hair. It's like, man, there's a period when babies just are not that cute. And it's that period. Like they're about 18 months. When you get hair, you're going to be cute, but it hasn't happened yet. Now that would have been an insult. Lumpy head. G.I. Jane was hot. Also a total gender bender. I mean, it was the first time that we had a character of a woman that was allowed to be physically fit and strong and aggressive and sexy. And yeah, Meghan propaganda. I actually met people that are friends of Meghan because we walked in accidentally on her party in West Hollywood. All her sorority sisters, they say she's awesome. She's the best. We love Meghan. They say she's awesome. No, she's great. Putin. Joel Tilson wants us to check on poor little Putin. Well, we can do that. Yeah, Grace Jones looked really good like that too. Yeah, that's true. Sinead O'Connor, I thought she looked great because she had such a beautiful face. Oh my goodness. Let's check on Putin. Well, the best wigs in the world are in Hollywood, right? People fly in from Europe to get their wigs in Hollywood, right? The best extensions, the best wigs. I mean, look at Aretha Franklin. Some of the stuff she was wearing. Some of the best wigs you're going to get in Hollywood. Real hair. I think I don't know. It seems like attention seeking. It almost looks like attention seeking. I'm going to shave my head because I've got hair thinning because I'm over the age of 40, as does every other woman I know. And that's why I use hair thickening gel and all that other stuff. We're all going bald, right? We're over 40, 50, women lose their hair. It's like, yeah. I don't know. I just think so much narcissism in LA. It's really unhealthy. Glad to be out of there. I've seen some hair though. People that do this for a living, the best in the world they're in LA. And they do the hair for the celebrities for the Academy Awards. And I've met some really beautiful, famous people, and I mean that is really expensive hair, and you would never know. You would never know what is or what isn't. If Jada Pinkett wants to wear her hair like that, so be it. Yeah. A lot of people in Hollywood also sell their hair. Like I know a lot of young people, when they come to Hollywood, they will just sell it. Like young starlets, if they have really perfect hair that's never been dyed, make a little money. Oh, you still got a lot of hair at 40? Good for you. Yeah, I've got total thinning. I've lost probably I'd say about a third of my hair. So, have you seen the price on some of those Hollywood wigs that some of those famous actresses wear? $10,000 wig, an extension. None of them are wearing their hair. I don't think Jennifer Aniston has ever worn her real hair. Has anybody ever seen Jennifer Aniston's real hair? Nobody cares. Oh, Jackie Ogle, you saw her hairline, no patches. Well, sure, because I have to write it out if a patient comes to my office. I'm just telling you, as a doctor, I treat alopecia. Sometimes the patient will give me permission to take pictures, but we look for zones. And the areas that are most likely to thin in women are going to start on the sides. These are the first zones, right? And then we start to get it along here, it starts to widen. So those are the areas of natural thinning when you lose estrogen. And then you'll still have a bunch of hair here if you're looking at transplant. You can take it from here along the sides. So I was just being a doctor, and so I was looking at Jada Pinkett, and I was checking the sides and just the zones like we normally do. And I was like, alopecia? She looked like she got pretty good definition to me. I mean, what do I know? Geocosmic Valentine's is getting upset. That's not Jennifer Aniston's real hair. No, Geocosmic. Jennifer Aniston has never worn her real hair. It's always been extensions, beautiful extensions. I love Jennifer Aniston's extensions. She's one of the first celebrities to really, come out with the extensions. I mean, she looks great. But no, you will never see Jennifer Aniston's real hair. I feel like I'm destroying people's fantasies or something. Nobody looks this good in real life. Trust me. I used to be their doctor. It's face surgeries and makeup and $10,000 hair extensions. And, do you think that Ivanka Trump is wearing her real hair? Come on. That perfect line coming like that, and it's all perfect. No, they've got weave put in to create. It's okay. You got the money, you might as well do it. Aw, Buddha Lion, thank you so kindly. Yeah, I think that I've always thought Jennifer Aniston had great. I didn't know except that she talked about it when somebody had said, "You've got beautiful hair," and she went, and she just said that it was like all extensions. So I was like, "That's extensions." So I think if you do have alopecia or thin hair, I mean, nobody talks about Jennifer Aniston having thin hair because she doesn't make a big deal about it. She just wears her extensions. Right? Or Ivanka Trump's hair being a lot thinner when she doesn't have her extensions in. Nobody talks about it. Oh, Linda B., you had alopecia areata? Okay, Putin. Yeah, it's a darker brown, but I actually like what she's done with her extensions because my ex-husband says she looks like a poodle. He didn't like we once saw her in real life, and he was like, he didn't really like the lines of the extension stuff, but I think it's cute. I don't think she looks like a poodle. She's got one of those looks. You either think she's cute or you don't. Jennifer Aniston. My ex didn't really think she was cute. Okay, where's Putin at right now? He's being offered a ceasefire, and he doesn't want to take it. The cup is offered. No. 2 of Wands. He's thinking he can get some kind of partnership in the war. The truth is coming out to Putin. Archangel Michael is with him. Putin will abandon the war. Basically, that's what they're saying, Joel. He will walk away. What is above him? Lovers, negotiations. What he sits in? The Queen of Rods, stubborn. 5 of Wands, fighting, arguing, conflict, but also exchange of ideas with others. He's trying to, look, this guy wants to save the Donbass. He wants to protect it for himself, and he doesn't want to lose Crimea because this is fortifying his area. He's living in a fantasy world, Queen of Cups. He's not totally in touch with reality about what's going on. Much better generals, much better leadership from his opposition. This is his opposition, the emperor. Solid, logical, reasonable opposition. Final outcome from him, he gets his wish. What's his wish? Putin's going to get his wish regarding what? He feels that he trapped himself. The other in relationship with him wants to negotiate trade, finance, look, money. The hope and the fear. He's losing power. He can't hold on to his power. He gets his wish. Putin's going to get his wish. I think he's going to be able to possibly hold on to some areas, maybe the Donbass and Crimea. That I'm not happy about, but it's possible. Oh, I need to take a break. I'm sorry about my cough being so bad today. I went hiking in nature and maybe it triggered it. I went to the Oaks Marsh Reserve today. Really nice. I could see myself living in that part of Portland. Really, really nice. Yeah, Rory. People come to Hollywood to the spas to get the hair treatments and stuff. I mean, hair is serious, but I would say hair is very serious business in LA. Hair clinics, hair extensions, spas, all of that. But I think wigs are cool because they look so real now and they're made from real hair. And so you could look like anything you want. It's kind of cool. Oh, I think I'm gonna be done now. I think I have done enough. So I'm just getting back to everybody's quick questions. People who had a quick 5-minute question, just one quick question. I'm getting answers back to people through Wizio. The information is below this video. You send me a question, and then I send you a 5-minute video back answering your question. I think it runs around $20. If you're trying to get in for a regular reading with me, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com, or you can just go directly to Booksy. And that information is also in the description of this video. You wanted to know about Hunter Biden? Yeah, we already covered it. Nothing's going to come of it. Nothing's going to rise to the occasion of a prosecution. I could be completely wrong, but it looked like he's going to be fine. Well, everyone, that was fun. I'm going to enjoy going back and reading everyone's comments because sometimes I just go off and then I don't get to read comments. But then afterwards, sometimes I'll go back and I'll look at my videos and just so that I can read the comments and hear what people have to say. And that's fun. All right. Love and light to you all. I will be back Saturday at 12 p.m. for Spa Day. If you are a member, if you have joined us, then Spa Day is free. We get together every Saturday. We talk health and healing, but we also give people free blitzes. So if you'd like to get a blitz, if you have any questions, just by being a member and showing up on Saturdays, you get to have a free reading if you have a question. Anything else I need to say? We talked about Spa Day. Yes, I'll be back on Saturday. Sunday, of course, is the Sunday brunch. If you need a blitz, you can come. Oh, you're already a member. Come Saturday at noon and you can get a free reading. If you want something a bit more private, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. I think we have 10% off discounts for members as well. Just say member and I can give you a discount for that as well. I'm trying. I know things are hard with all the inflation and everything. I'm trying to make sure everybody can afford to come in. All right. Thank you, everyone. Please be safe. Yes, quercetin for my allergies, but no, I need something stronger. It's just my nose is running really low. My nose is running really badly, and that's what the cough is from. It's not from my lungs, it's from my nose. And I just have really bad seasonal allergies. And I went out for a hike today. So I'm going to start taking Allegra again. I don't like neti pot. It does work, but I don't like it. Oh, I'm so glad, Rory, that you had a good time with Hot Topics. I'm so glad. I just feel bad about this cough. This happens every year, but I'm just going to take Allegra for the next few weeks. It passes, like it'll go away in a couple weeks, but oh my God, it's so bad. Oh, Cash Peters had some orbs. Did you all see the orbs today? Did you all see? Oh, I'm going to have to take off. Did you guys all see we had some orbs today. That's fun. You can go back to me when I'm like, oh, hello. It's like dancing in front of me. you'll be able to see it. Maybe somebody will timestamp it because I know a lot of people love seeing the orbs when they show up. I don't know what they mean, not claiming to know. People call them fairies. Ellen, yes, I have tree allergies, which shocked me when I got tested. I have tree allergies, grass, and a lot of molds. I was very sensitive to mold when I got tested, but the doctor prescribed Allegra and it works great. I just don't like taking anything. And so today I didn't take anything. But after today, after like going live and seeing how bad my cough is, I've got plenty of Allegra from last year. I think it's still good. I'm just going to start taking it before I go live. It's just constant dripping. Yeah, the homeopathic drops, it does expose it to you, but I just like the Allegra. It works pretty good. Ugh. Awful. All right. Be well, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in. Take care of each other. Support the other readers. All that good stuff. All right. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging with me. Bye-bye.